Hi, everybody. I am here today with Kelli, and she is the creator of the page Christian's Courage. And I'm going to have Kelli, do you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. My name is Kelli, obviously. We live in New York, actually not too far from Michelle and Eden, which is nice. Yeah. So I have two boys, Carter 5 and Christian, who will soon to be 12 this week, actually. So it's pretty crazy, but it's been a wild ride, but he's been such a dream to raise and watch him grow and just all his milestones. And it's so amazing.
What day is his birthday?
The 5th, actually.
Emma's is the 2nd.
Oh, okay. He missed about 4 hours, but for the 4th, I said fireworks are still for you, girl.
Yes, absolutely.
It's all good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So he is 12, and I saw on his page, so he likes to play baseball?
He does. He actually plays for an adaptive sports team that's around us. It's a organization, Beautiful People, and they do baseball. They're starting kickball this year, basketball, you name it, they do it. Bowling is soon. And they rode horse the other day, which I'm gonna get lessons now because he wants to do that now. So yeah, so it's been a good thing for him. It's a good outlet of playing sports, and I love watching him. He holds that bat, like he knocks it out of the park. Like he can do what any other kid can do, and I just love watching him just do it. I'm like, I'm the one that's like, I don't know. And he's like, watch me.
I know.
Okay,
he's like,
cool.
no, I'm fine,
just
Mom.
do it.
So you sent me a bunch of amazing information.
Yeah.
And just a bunch of backgrounds. So he's had 15 surgeries.
Yes. Yeah.
And he has had his midface surgery.
He did, yes. March of 2020, right in the heightened state of pandemic. So that was interesting. So we go to Dallas. We actually did it in some of his stuff is done in Dallas. We fly there with Dr. Fearon. So he had his midface March of 20. We ended up flying there and driving home 24 hours. So that was interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was an adventure, but we did it and he did really good through it. Yeah, so Dr. Fearon has done his cranial vaults. He's had 3. He's had some doctor releases. We've gone to Boston with Dr. Upton to get a thumb lengthening for him and some web spaces deepened and a little bit of a straighten. They put a pin in to straighten one. And that's pretty strabismus surgery to strengthen the eye, to tighten the muscles in the eyes, and ear tubes, which we never knew he needed because he wasn't talking for a while, getting in ear infections, and he always had fluid behind his ear. So once he had the ear tubes, he started just soaring with his talking. So, which is incredible.
How old was he when he started talking?
He always had like sounds, but it was always, he would like, for my dad, it was, kind of like his own little thing. And, he'd had little words, but like, I would say like it shot off like 3, like once he got his ear tubes, you couldn't shut him up. So it was good. I love seeing it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool. I love that. And then, so he was something that I noticed. He was 10 pounds.
Yeah, he was a big boy. He was 10 pounds.
Was he full term?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He actually came I was supposed to have that C-section that day, and he ended up coming like 6 hours early. And yeah, he came fast, and they had to like pull him back. He had a C-section, of course, because they thought he was going to be 12 pounds, measuring all big and stuff. But they've had to pull him back up to get him out. And yeah, he was my chunky boy. So.
And you guys did not know.
No,
we had Aver syndrome.
No, they thought at first he'd had, it was a very traumatizing pregnancy. He thought he had trisomy 18, wouldn't last long outside the womb once he was born. Then they thought he had Down syndrome because he had a thickened nuchal fold. And then he just kept growing, and they asked if we want to amniocentesis. They the genetics testing, and I said, it is what it is at this point. I'm sorry, already done with all of this. So we just they thought they saw a little towards the end, we went to a specialist every 2 weeks to get sonograms, and they saw his hands were always clenched. They used the word clenched a million times. I never thought anything, oh, a little physical therapy, he'll be fine,
right.
you know. And they were wrong. They were definitely wrong. So yeah, so when he came out, it was definitely, you know, a shock. They brought him to me all wrapped up, and he had one tiny little hand sticking out, and the nurse would not give me eye contact, and she was just like, I looked at her, and I'm like, his hand? They're like, yeah, it's fused. And they see, you know, I'm like, his other hand, like, yeah, that's fused too. And I'm like, what else do I say? Like, you know, I'm like, is he, you know, they're like, yeah, they're fused too. I was like, done. But he had the beautiful blue eyes, huge, tall forehead, I noticed, but they had no answers right then and there. And they just kind of whisked him away. I closed my eyes, and I was like, you know what? They have pills for everything. They have a pill to fix it. It's going to get fixed. So I just had to like calm myself down. And the neonatologist in the recovery room actually told us the name of the syndrome. He saw it once in his residency. So it was good to know a name. I didn't want anything to do with it. My husband at the time and my mother actually were the ones that kind of researched it a lot. You know, I was in for a long time. But they found Kathy and Don Sears, APRA.org. We're still friends today. We've gone to their retreats. It's been amazing. They're great resources. And
they really are.
Also, yes. And Teeter, we love
truly are.
So, yes. So it's great that, you know, the APRA USA is great resource that we've, you know, we're like it was like Facebook was new. So
yes.
we were served. So yeah, it was good that we found all of that. So
when he was born, what type of syndactyly did he have?
It was type 3. He had the
rosebuds.
Yes, rosebuds. Yep. Yep. I remember we had to use Q-tips with peroxide to get the stinky milk because he liked to suck on them all the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh God, it was gross. But I still remember it, and I love it today. I'm just like, put that back down, like, oh, so it stinks like rotten milk. But you know, just little things. So yeah, his nail care was a little hard, but we found great tools that I have that, you know, he's actually starting to cut his own nails now that he's 12.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, he's like, I'll do it. He's very independent. He was born very, very strong-willed, and I've always seen it in him. You know, he always had that drive to had that drive to just do, you know, and I said he's going to do good things. I doubted him more, you know, sometimes, and he would just be like, I got this. And just like nail cutting. He's like, I'm going to do it this time. I'm like, oh, sure. And he's like, and he rocked it. He did really good. So I'm like,
and our kiddos, I think they thrive on proving us wrong and proving everyone wrong. I really
love
think
it.
They do.
I love it.
I know.
My 5-year-old is like, I can't put my shit. I'm just like, really got her. So night and day. So he's got that drive, but it's just, yeah, it's totally night and day.
It really is. It truly is. And I'm just going through, bear with me.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm going through all your good stuff.
Oh, good.
And so with his midface surgery.
Yes.
Would you mind telling us about that? You had a little bit of a curveball with that.
Yeah, so definitely. Yeah. So he had his midface March of 20. We got it off, you know, we were actually a little later because of the pandemic. So when he got it off, we had our 6-month follow-up MRI. And we found out he had an aneurysm actually behind his left eye. He had a stroke, and he had a little graying area, which is like encephalomalacia. I can never, it's really long, but it's like tissue damage in his brain. Wow. He has no outward effects from it. Like he doesn't have any limbs, nothing like that. Speech is fine. It's a little, the air escapes, but that's mechanical, I think. He was stuttering a lot, which can be part of the brain, but the brain damage in that area. But you know, he's doing good today. They ended up we don't know where it came from. He ended up having we stemmed it back, and he had a headache like 15 days after the halo surgery that he had put on, massive headache, and he never complains about anything. He's taken every surgery with such grace, and just, you know, it is what it is. He knows he has to get healthy, and he complains about nothing. So 15 days in, he ended up having a massive headache, which is a sign just to kind of look out for. I wish I knew back then and someone told me.
Right.
Massive headache. He was throwing up, just crying. I mean, uncontrollably. He was just like, my head. And it's so not Christian. So we thought, it kind of subsided that day. We thought nothing of it, but I think that's when it happens. We don't know if it was something going on in his head, pre the halo surgery, or that just something happened. He had severe anemia afterwards because we couldn't keep he was on Boost with iron in it. So he was taking that, and it was really hard to keep down. He kept throwing it up. He always had nausea after surgery. So we don't know if it was the anemia that something happened. We have no idea really. So we're just taking each day and rocking through it. And he had a flow diverting stent placed up in Buffalo. We found a great neurosurgeon that was able to do it vascularly.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so thank goodness. Yeah, we had other opinions, but one was they were going to take his skull off, and I'm like, he's had that enough. So yeah.
He's
and
had
the guy,
too many of those.
Yeah, that's why I said it's too dangerous. A craniotomy, they're going to take a piece off and try to fix it that way. I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
So they ended up vascularly fixing it. He's had a few angioplasties since then because there was a piece that kept narrowing, and they're watching another area, the MCA, which is the middle central artery that supplies the most of the blood to the brain on the left side, that keeps occluding, which is narrowing. So we're kind of watching that and seeing how it, we're seeing what goes. He might, they have some things they're thinking of, but we don't really know at this point. Yeah, they're suspecting maybe moya, but that usually affects bilaterally. So it's a lot of new research that we're doing now in the neurological area.
Do they foresee any new surgeries on the horizon for him?
For him, we would like to do some. His other thumb, he's never had it lengthened. So we were thinking of that to repair because usually when they have the halo surgery, air leaks. They have to fix up in the top there.
Right.
So he's very nasally when he talks now. We wanted to get that fixed. And he might have to have another FOA, but everything's on hold. Even braces right now. We want to get braces, start those, but everything's on hold because we want to fix, do this stuff in the head first. We want to get that cleared up because a lot of MRAs he has to have, and just kind of check it every 3 to 6 months. So
I'm curious. He's the oldest one that we interviewed. So I'm curious with the midface and his upper jaw. So when he had the midface, and I know you said that he needs braces, did that help with moving the jaw forward? Did it help with lining the teeth up?
They aren't as, his teeth are very high. They're up in the, when he smiles, he looks like he almost doesn't have teeth because they're really high up. They did bring they overcorrected. That's what Fioran does, is overcorrect the face. So he grows into it as he gets into teenage years. Yeah. So it did look a little, in the beginning, I'm like, oh, it's too much, but you can see it's settling now. He knows what he's doing. So I'm like, okay, but yeah, so he's growing into it, but it did line it up better. He still has to side chew, which, he doesn't have any, the teeth are really high up. So we want to try to bring those down.
Right.
So that's what we're doing right now. So it's kind of everything's on hold.
That's good. That's good. I'm sorry. Bear with me just 1 second.
No worries.
I'm sorry. Hold. I'm so sorry.
No worries. It happens. Trust me.
Sorry. No, we're closing early today. So everyone's just kind of peeking in on what time are you headed out.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
No worries. All good.
So, with school, he's got all of his therapies through school.
He did. Yeah, since he was little, he had early intervention in the house, transitioned to a preschool. All his services went there. They did it all there in his preschool. It's all through the county early intervention. Then they transferred into elementary school. He did all of his therapies. He actually graduated out of OT when he was leaving elementary school, going into middle school, which is amazing because he was like, he doesn't
That's awesome
anymore, which is like, I'm like, really? Are you sure? Like, yeah, he's got this. I'm like, all right. Yeah, so he was doing a little physical therapy, but he's very athletic. Like he can do all of that stuff. Like I was like, so this year we actually ended up homeschooling middle school. I was a wreck. He was a little bit of a wreck, and I've always like dreaded middle school. So
yeah,
kids are finding their own selves, and they hurt other people in the process. And I said, we're gonna try it at home, and it's worked out really good. So we were doing homeschool, changed all our services over to IESP, I guess it is. And he's doing really good. So I'm happy with the change. I'm like, I don't have to stress anymore going to school. But he was in elementary school. This kid they always called him the mayor. Like he'd be like, hi, hi. He would everyone knew who Christian was. And it's like, Christian. He was like, some of the younger kids they had towards the end, he started to hide his hands a little bit because they would comment or, your face looks, and he would hide a lot from us. But I knew it was starting to bother him, and kids are worse when they get, in that middle school area.
Exactly.
So, high school, they grow out of it a little bit, they're like, oh, cool, hi, how are you? They're more open, but middle school is just rough. So
they are.
That's agree. What we're doing right now.
Kids are mean.
They are. I met some wonderful ones too, but some kids are just, I don't know.
And just the fact for his mental health and your mental health, it's definitely the most
And he
important.
was on the blood thinner then, like he's actually still on a blood thinner because of his head. He's on an aspirin for life as well, to keep his blood nice and thin. So, I was like, why not? Let's just try it. I'm like, everyone's doing it. Why not?
Exactly. I tried it.
I did.
I did it for a year, and
he's a good kid. My 5-year-old, he's going to school next year. He's out.
Yeah. As soon as I was able to send my oldest back, he went back. I'm like,
gotcha. Totally gotcha. Yep.
I'm done.
He's good. Yeah. He's just, I don't know. He's a different person. He's my little old soul. Like he'll go with the flow, and he's like, okay, what are we going to do? And he's just, I don't know. He just accept things differently. Like he's like, let's do it.
And I'm pretty sure that I saw this. Was it you that was saying that? It was. I just saw that. So in the pictures, he looked like an old man.
Yes. Yeah, he looked like my grandfather in his sonogram picture.
That you say that because Emma used to make an old man face, and we would call it the "get off my lawn" face.
Oh no. Oh, well, she was with the sonograms? Or
yes.
Okay. Oh, too funny. Yes. Yeah, my placenta was always in the front, so they had like horrible pictures of him, and they could never really see the hands because he was always upside down, and I don't know, stuff was in the way. That one grainy picture, I was like, oh man, it's my Grandpa Wilson. I'm like, and I was like, and then when he came out, I was like, I see now, like I can see why, I was like, holy cow.
Yeah.
That's too funny that you say that. Yeah,
it was her "get off my lawn" face.
Yeah, get off my lawn. I love it. He did. He had that long face of like, I love it.
And so tell us about, you have a special thing that happened to him.
Yeah, when he was little, came at the right time. Like he was right around 3, a little bit older than 3, maybe. My mother met a fire chief in our neighborhood at a Home Depot parking lot, and he was just, Christian was enthralled with his truck, and he opened the back, showed him all his equipment and his uniform, his bunker gear and everything like that. He was just so he invited us down to the firehouse. We went a few times. Had a little birthday party for him down there and stuff, and they asked him to be an honorary member of their fire department, like the only one. Cool. So I didn't know anything about fire departments, but I look back and what a blessing it was for both of us. I was going through my divorce at the time. He was just stuck to my leg. I'm like, what am I going to do with him? They build his confidence. I was like, I had no idea what to do. And I was just, so down. And the gutter kind of like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And I look back and being 12 now, he is just the most confident kid now. It's been incredible. He goes to drills, he marches in parades, goes to, little things that, he knows how to dress, got a little gear, he goes to,
That's so cool.
Oh yeah. He's like, bye mom, I'm gonna be upstairs. I'm like, okay. He goes to meetings. He's like, I'm like, all right, it's good. But I'm just like, oh my God, it was just what we both needed at that right time. And he's still in it and he loves every minute of it.
That's so
I'm
cool.
so thankful for something like that, because it just kind of pulled us both out of the trenches, helped us both with our confidence. So
has he ever talked about what he wants to do when he grows up?
Oh my God, fireman, of course.
Fireman.
Officer. He's come out with a bunch of stuff that, now he wants to be a horse trainer. He went to horseback riding. He's like, I think I'm gonna do this for a living now. And I'm like, all right, whatever you're gonna do, just do it.
That's cool.
So yeah, he's all over the place, but he definitely will be, and he's waiting till he's 16, which is coming soon, which was so far away when he was 3. And I'm like, it's gonna be a minute. And now I'm like, God, he's really 16. He can be a junior firefighter, and that's what he wants to do right now. So yeah, he's ready.
Wow. That's awesome. So, I love that.
It's really good. He's got such drive, and he just does anything anybody does. You show him once and he's like, I got this, let's go. I'm like, all right.
And I love that. About these kiddos. They're so resilient.
Yes. And I couldn't have I probably contributed a little bit, but I think that piece of it just helped so much with his confidence. He was born with, that drive and determination.
Absolutely.
But it just helped it, progress. And it takes a village sometimes, which
definitely.
Thank God he has the village. So
most definitely.
Yeah, very thankful.
And just the fact of, when something happens and you have to leave at the drop of a hat, and that village is so important to have.
Yes. Yeah. Steps right in and doesn't skip a beat. And, we've been a bunch of times to the hospital when we was younger with breathing and stuff like that. And it just, everyone's there. What can I do? What can I get you? What can I eat? I'm just like, oh, because when he was born.
Did he ever have a trach or?
No, he never did.
Anything?
He was in the NICU for 15 days. He came home with oxygen for a little bit, but he was fine. He learned to breathe out of his mouth really quickly, which I guess babies breathe through their nose, I guess, a lot.
Yeah.
So he was really quick for picking that up, and he didn't have issues. So no trach with us.
That's good.
Thank God at that time I couldn't handle all of that.
So when he was a baby, did they ever present it to you as, gloom and doom and kind of how Google has previously presented?
Told us anything. Yeah, it was just that diagnosis in the OR room, and that was it. I mean, we went home and we just had to research it ourselves. We knew nothing of it, and talking with Kathy and Don and finding out, the steps that you have to go through in life. Right. It's very daunting and scary and overwhelming, but yeah, no one ever gave us any kind of bad news of it. Good. I didn't know what to expect. I was just, I only learned through research, which I'm still doing today, obviously.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And did Kathy and Don, were they the ones that put you in touch with Dr. Farron?
I don't think they did. We did it on our own. We actually went to a couple different, which is very important to get opinions. We actually just got off the plane coming from Boston. I think we went to Boston. And we were waiting, and we were like, do we want to go with the stripping and the helmet? Because that's what they were going to do. And I was like, let's just send our stuff to Farron. And with our own research, we found him, and he was going to do the cranial vault. And I said, I think that's just going to be what we're going to do. And we just rolled our little pennies and flew to Texas.
Yes. So. Yes. And that's hard too. I mean, credit to you guys for that. There's so many people that travel.
So, and it's been good. Yes. Yeah. And his neurosurgeon New York City, because we're about an hour from there. So we kind of shop around wherever we can find, people with experience. That's what my biggest thing is. Anybody's willing to do the surgery. It's you finding the person that has that experience.
Exactly.
To lessen the, you know, any kind of bad results. So we just, you know, did what we have to do to try to help him keep him healthy as we could. So
absolutely. Did you guys have any fears of him being in school during COVID?
He actually didn't go during COVID. They did homeschooling. They did WebEx. Once that that hit, he was out for a while actually when he had the Halo, because he had the Halo. And I went right into everyone's remote now, everybody's working on the computer.
Wow.
And then once sixth grade hit, it was still like everyone needs to wear a mask when they go to school. I was like, you know what? We're just gonna stay home.
Yeah.
So we homeschooled that year. So it all worked out like just nicely. So we never had to worry about it. We were scared ourselves. We're like, you know, I don't think I left the house in 2 years, but like I was like shop right from home, like pick up my grocery order.
That's how we were. Yeah. Like even with our therapies, I was just like, no, I was like, I'm good with Zoom. We can do the therapies on Zoom. And ironically, they spent almost 2 years trying to find us nursing, and they found us a nurse in the middle of COVID.
Oh my
and I was
like, they did. Of course they did.
I was like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
I know, we're good. I totally get it.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think we're going to do that right now.
I totally understand. Yeah.
What is one piece of advice that you would give to new ABER parents?
I have done. Ask a lot of questions, get lots of opinions. We've done it for almost every one of his surgeries. We've kind of asked different doctors in different areas what they would do. Get your records, make a folder, get your CDs, put them in a folder. You never know when you're going to need them. Because actually when he had his aneurysm, we looked at his 2018 MRI and he had nothing there. So
wow.
Good that we had those records on hand. We could, you know, in an instant look back to just let them be kids, you know, let them just have fun. Like they'll amaze you. Raising them, they will just amaze you. I was more doubtful of like certain things. I'm like, he's never gonna do this. He's never gonna, you know, and I'm like, he always just did it. He picked up the hockey stick at school and the tennis racket and the baseball bat and puts the glove on. He catches the ball. Like they'll amaze you with what they'll show you. You know, even when he had no fingers, I was like, he needs fingers. And he picked up that little tiny string on his toy and pull it and like the cat's tail. He was really good at that. He would be like, all right, let me sneak up real quick. And, you know, he would just pick it up with his little Cheerios. He would like, you know, to lick his hand and stick them in and they would just stick to it. And he would just eat himself, hold his bottle. They will just amaze you.
That is so cool.
Just enjoy the ride. Like, you know, it's just, there's so much in between. It's all the doctor's hospital stuff and just enjoy the in-between parts, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's fun. it's an amazing to, you know, look back for 12 years. I never thought I'd get to this part. And I'm like, I never could see that far in the future.
Yeah.
You know, and it's been a wild ride, some roller coasters, but you know, you just enjoy every bit of it. And he has taken each surgery with such grace. Like he's, you know, him being older, he's approached each one. He knows he doesn't want to have it done. He doesn't want any surgeries, but he knows he needs them to keep him healthy. And he just, and he's like, all right, let's go. You know, says a couple swear words, not these 12. And he's like, you know, and he's like, all right, let's go, let's do it. And he's always approached it like that, which he's a rock star.
Good.
In my book, he really is.
Absolutely.
The nurses love him. He's just like, when am I getting this IV out? Like he was very like, we'll make an IV out. But also IVs, ask for like lidocaine and the sonogram machine if you have a hard time finding those, because that was a big thing. And nausea, if your kids ever have nausea, that was my big thing. Is I learned 11 years later that it's from the gas. Like ask for straight IV if they get a lot. He would throw up for like 2 days after every surgery. I was exhausted. We stopped the gas with the aneurysm, and he throws up once, and that's it, done. And I'm like, oh, for 11 years, I would be exhausted. Yeah, so that's my tips and everything. But
I love
That's
it.
pretty much it. Just enjoy the ride. They're great
I
kids.
love that. All right. Does he have, other than Christian's Courage, does he have any other websites that you would like to
He
share?
doesn't. Yeah, no, it's just the Facebook. It was my Facebook rolled into his kind of a thing. And that's pretty much it. I post everything about our lives and what we go through. So you could always, scroll back into, into years before and see what we've been through. So, but it's been a wild ride. We have tons of pictures and of surgeries and him in forecasts when he had his hands and feet done because they do it at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you
So,
okay with me sharing that?
yeah, that's fine. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If any moms, definitely reach out, I'm kind of a little bit private, like, if it's like, parents that have kids, that's fine. But publicly, we're not really like public, but yeah,
Right.
definitely. If a new mom wants to reach out to me, absolutely. I always answer,
Perfect.
always reach out. So
Perfect.
I've walked in the shoes and I'll help anybody else walking behind me. So,
I love that.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for
Yeah,
talking to
no
me
problem.
today.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate
I
it.
was a little nervous, but yeah, I
No.
can talk for hours about Christian. So
Yes, you did great. And I'm kind of, since we're transitioning out of Apron Awareness Month, I haven't quite decided what I want to do with the videos from here. If I want to keep doing what I'm doing now, or if I want to do something and have the kids join. So
yeah,
I'm just
he'd be into it. Yeah, he went out with no
seeing.
parents, but yeah, definitely. We'll be here. So it's all good.
So yeah, I will definitely keep everybody updated. And
Very
then
good.
maybe one of these days we can do a video and we can meet Christian.
Absolutely. Yeah, he would be into it. Absolutely.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And
Thank
please
you.
tell him happy birthday.
I will. Thank you.
All right.
Very
Talk to
exciting.
you soon.
Take care. Nice to meet you. Bye-bye.
Nice to meet you. Bye-bye.